You mentioned Michael Jordan. I know you played with LeBron, right? There's always the debate, and maybe it's someone else. Who would you say is the best?
LeBron.
Over Jordan?
100%.
Why?
Who would you say is the best?
LeBron.
Over Jordan?
100%.
Why?
Here we go again with another NBA player. Someone who has excelled at the highest level of the game. Someone who is supposed to have great credibility when it comes to the game of basketball. You know how these NBA pros think, right? Oh, you never made it to the NBA, so you don't know what you're talking about. And what I say is law over your take as a fan, because you're a peasant when it comes to NBA knowledge. Well, this is another example of a pro who sounds like a jackass. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you how, man. No, I didn't make it to the NBA, not even close. But I've been watching the game for years. I'm a professional fan, damn it. And no pro on this planet is gonna tell me my eyes are lying and I don't know or understand the game of basketball, even at the highest level. It's that. However, out of respect, I defer to pros in any industry where I'm not the pro. Get it? But I can research and I can think critically for myself. So even when a pro is speaking, I have enough knowledge to determine what's horseshit and what makes sense. Feel me? Okay. Michael Beasley is a former NBA player. Make no mistake about it. Who we should be talking about like we do Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Steph. And Giannis. The only difference between Beasley and KD, Beasley is stronger. Well, he was stronger. Period. So imagine a physically strong KD, 6'11", with some sauce, or more older type. KD put in the work and became a legend. Beasley, he didn't put in the work. And you know what he became? Who could have been. How were you blessed by God himself with those natural attributes and don't put in the work at the highest level is beyond me, fam. How many of us wish we was 6'11", with handles and could shoot? Alright, before I play and react to what Beasley said on the Common Denominator Podcast with Moshe Popack regarding why he thinks LeBron is the GOAT over Jordan, I want to ask you, my intelligent audience, a question. And we're going to get our Jeopardy vibe on for this one. Alright? For a guy whose career went in the toilet as far as potential, at this point, which player does it benefit him the most to promote as the GOAT between LeBron and Jordan? Let's see who's really tapped in. You got 10 seconds. Of course it's LeBron. Remember, it's been rumored Beasley was destroying LeBron in practice and one-on-one. But listen to this. I want you to hear it from the man himself.
Did Beasley really beat Bron in practice 1v1? The answer is?
It's some truth to the essence of that story. Me and Bron, we ain't never played one-on-one in front of people. Dog, I used to be on his ass in practice. Everything he did, like, I'm guarding you, I'm guarding. You know, one day he came, he just yelled out, like, Mario Chalmers is guarding me today. Look me dead in my face. And I said, I ain't hearing shit. And I got in my defensive stand. And he looked at me, Mario Chalmers is guarding me today. And Mario came and brushed me to the side. I just went over there and guarded CB. It was like, all right. The reporter told the story wrong, you understand? So the essence of the story is kind of, you know.
That story alone told me all I needed to know. No way in hell Jordan is ever gonna bitch out from a tough defender guarding him. Huh? That's crazy. But the point is, if LeBron is the GOAT and Beasley was that guy who used to abuse LeBron's ass one-on-one, where does it elevate Beasley? Y'all see where I'm going. Now, I'ma play what Beasley said, and as usual, I rely on you, my audience, my intelligent audience, to chime in and tell me if you agree, disagree, or if I'm the one that's batshit crazy. Go Leclerc.
You mentioned Michael Jordan. I know you played with LeBron. Right? There's always the debate, and maybe it's someone else. Who would you say is the best
LeBron,
over Jordan?
100%.
Why?
Okay, my argument is a reasonable one, right? All right, I started with the one everybody knows: the points, the longevity, all that, right? With Jordan, they don't talk about the negativity. They don't talk about the playoff losses. They don't talk about the fact that he actively sought out Dennis Rodman, who was already a two-time champion. And no shot to Jordan because he's Jordan, right? But they don't tell the story of him having to learn the championship pedigree. LeBron James gave us, or has given us, the opportunity to be witnesses. We watch his good, his bad. We watch his ups, his down, so long, and he's been so great that we don't have anything to say. So we now talk about his son, right? That's my personal argument. My stat argument is LeBron James. Every player in the NBA, which is I think around 4,700, something like that, 4,000, right? Just under 5,000. Put every player's stats on a board, right? And take everybody's name off. And now we play a Easter egg hunt, right? We gotta find 5 eggs. If we look for the best point guard, LeBron James would be somewhere top 5. Though, like his stats to be somewhere top 5, right? Look for the best 2, 3, 4, 5. LeBron James is no lower. You'll never see his stats no lower than 6, 7 on all 5 of those, right? 6 man, all of that. And you take his resume, how far, because we all call him Le Coach, right? So how far down is his resume as a coach? Now let's go to GM. How far, right? With all of that being said, now having to look after my son, and the credit that we don't give him is for him to have the entire world inside of his brain and still be able to give us 25, 8, and 8.
I mean, right, he was recently, right, considered a billionaire. Right, so imagine that, right?
Imagine the negativity that comes with it, And Michael Jordan, I'm sorry to cut you off, but fortunately for Michael Jordan, unfortunately for LeBron James, it wasn't a social media. It wasn't so close to the players, it wasn't so in your face every day. We only knew what was going on in our blocks in the 90s. Now we know what's going on in the world. And LeBron James' career just started the social media area. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but it made him a lot of money. I think if Jordan would have played in the same era, like with a total different discussion, but it is what it is. But I just think LeBron James, for him to have the pressure he had on him from, I first heard about him when I was in the 8th grade. And I told my mom about him. That's the first player, the only player. And Michael Jordan and Vince Carter was my favorite player at the time.
Vince.
First conversation about basketball I had with my mom was about LeBron James. 12 and 13 to now 36, this man hasn't dropped the ball, no pun intended. But he hasn't dropped the ball as my personal hero, as the kids' personal heroes, as a leader, as a philanthropist, you name it. His resume just around life is just, I feel like we're talking about it too long.
No, I appreciate that.
Hey, shout out to the Common Denominator Podcast. Although the interview didn't challenge Beasley, I still thought it was a decent piece, you feel me? Did you hear what this dude said, fam? And before I go scorch earth on everything Beasley said, let me be clear. I genuinely like the dude. Like, he seemed like the type of dude you could smoke a spliff with, and if he get caught, he not gonna sell you out. You know what I'm saying? He not gonna throw you down the river. You know, like one of those dudes that if you missed the last shot or you did something wrong in the game, he's not going to be the one to expose you, if that makes sense. Not that he gives a shit how I feel, but Beasley was the talent that got away. He left so much on the table. Right? We were truly robbed of one of the should have been greats. The problem is, he was the thief. All right? Now, the first thing he said alluded to stats and longevity. And he came back to that whole concept with some weird ass Easter egg analogy about taking off players' names, blah, 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 blah. Nah, do you notice a common theme? These dudes and these analysts, they always say if this and if that and blah, blah, blah to make their case. On top of that, they leave out the context and they give you these empty phrases and misdirecting quotes, like it's bugged out. So let's address the stats point. And I want all of you, LeBron of the GOAT because of stats and longevity dudes, to do something right now. Look at your wife, look at your girl, look at your boo, or any female you know, and ask them this question, fam. Who would they prefer? A guy they smashed who made them squirt 4 out of every 10 times? Or a guy they smashed who made them squirt every single time with no game 7, fam? I'll wait. Exactly. Right? Then Beasley proceeded to say, they never talked about Jordan's negatives, what he had to go through. Huh? Bruh, what are you talking about? First, what the hell does that have to do with who is the superior basketball player, bruh? Please explain that to me. But, like, second, you're still wrong. Right? You do know what Mike endured before he won his first chip, right? All the things they said about Harden, they said about him, ball hard, show off, can't win, not a team player, everything you can imagine. And then he made them all sound like idiots. Once he won, and won again, and won again, and won again, and won again, and won again. He made sure they could never say those things about him again. You feel me? So when Beasley makes false comments like that, he has to be held accountable, fam. And I put that on the interviewer as well. A good interviewer would have challenged him on the spot. And I'm telling you, I smell the media. All right. But then he started talking about LeBron's son and what he's doing. What are you talking about? How does that make LeBron a superior basketball player, dog? Once again, misdirection and horseshit. Damn near everything Beasley said had absolutely nothing to do with basketball, dog. Do you understand that? And fam, this is what they all do. Once you break down and dissect the comments, you start scratching your head with the Scooby-Doo look, all right? What are you talking about? Listen, fam, here's the bottom line. LeBron, I think he loves Trump secretly, because he's the Trump of the NBA. He's looking to own a team, start his own league, the media companies, blah, blah, blah. He's already a bully, and he wants to be a power player in the industry. So all of these guys, all of these girls who are thinking about post-career opportunities, they want to latch on, kill, or all of them. All of these friends dudes who want to climb the rates and stay in his goodwill are going to kiss the ring in the hope for something in return later down the line and show that they stand in allegiance with the king. They won't tell the truth or how they really feel because they know this dude is sensitive and he hears everything. Right? With the unfollow, he could stop your whole career, your whole flow, which is crazy. That's crazy. Right? So these people are forced and bound to kiss his ass. Period. In the story. Is Beasley one of those guys? I can't say. But what I can say, his logical reasoning for saying LeBron is better than Jordan 100% with no doubt is 100% horseshit. And it's disappointing coming from a dude who was a walking bucket and was on par to be an all-time great. Bruh, you gotta do better than that. Facts. But listen, man, that's my take on this. Now, I need you to jump in the comments and go stupid. Because am I wrong? Please tell me. Is Beasley right? How do you feel, fam? Because you, the audience, y'all are my judge and jury. I don't care about not my narrative and certainly not theirs. We got to take the control back. The people. All right. On your way out, if you enjoyed the content, fam, let me know and tap the like. That's all I ask. And if you really feeling our vibes over here, then join the family, subscribe, so you can be first to be notified when we drop this word. Hey, till the next video, don't sell your soul. Keep it real with yourself. Be safe, and God bless.